In the next 60 seconds, we are going to do a 5-point circulation test. This test will help you understand whether the circulation in your legs is healthy, slowing down, or already showing warning signs. So, are you ready? Let's start. There will be 5 simple questions. Start with a score of 5. For every question, if your answer is yes, subtract 1 point. 1 yes means -1. At the end, whatever number is left is your score. Be honest with yourself, because this quick test may tell you more about your leg health than you expect. Here is the first question. Do your feet often feel cold, even when everything around you is normal? The room temperature is fine, you are not in extreme weather, other people around you are comfortable, you may even be under a blanket. But still, your feet feel unusually cold, and you feel like you need socks when others do not. If your answer is yes, subtract 1 point. Now the second question. Do you notice swelling in your feet, ankles, or lower legs, especially by evening? You have not done any extreme exercise. You have not been carrying heavy weight. It has been a regular day, normal work, normal routine. But by the evening, your ankle looks puffy, your foot feels tight, your socks leave deep marks, or your shoes feel tighter than they did in the morning. If any of these happen regularly, subtract 1 point. Now the third question. By the time the day ends, do your legs feel heavy? Not just tired in a normal way. I am talking about a dragging, weighted, uncomfortable heaviness. You did your regular routine, nothing excessive, but still your legs feel loaded, dull, and heavy by evening, and this happens again and again. If that sounds like you, subtract 1 point. Now the fourth question. Do you see visible veins in your legs that seem more prominent than before? Maybe they look enlarged, twisted, raised, or unusually obvious. Maybe you notice spider veins, bluish lines, or areas where the veins seem swollen and more noticeable than they used to be. If yes, subtract 1 point. Now the fifth question. This one is very important, so listen carefully. Do you get leg cramps at night? During the day, because you stay busy, you may not notice much, but when your body finally rests at night, do your calves tighten up, do your feet cramp, or do your legs suddenly pull and wake you up? If the answer is yes, subtract 1 more point. Now tell me honestly, what score did you get? If your score is 5, that is a very good sign. It means your leg circulation is likely doing well, and your muscle pump is probably active enough to support blood return from the legs. If your score is 3 or 4, that is not something to ignore. It may be an early warning sign that your circulation is beginning to struggle, especially if your work keeps you sitting or standing for long hours. If your score is 2 or less, then you should pay serious attention. This does not mean panic. But it does mean your legs may already be showing signs that blood is not moving as efficiently as it should. But wait, if your score is low, do not get scared. I am Dr. David, and helping people understand and improve circulation in the legs is part of what I do every single day. And in the next few minutes, I am going to give you a simple action plan to help improve leg circulation using only 3 exercises that are easy, practical, and realistic. No expensive machine, no special setup, no gym, no complicated routine, just smart movement done the right way. And I am not stopping there. Along with the 3 most effective exercises, I am also going to give you a bonus plan. 1 food that may support circulation, 1 bad sitting habit you need to stop, 1 simple daily habit you need to start from today, 1 powerful 20-20 rule, and 1 evening rescue step that many people feel relief from almost immediately. So stay till the end, because this is not one of those videos where I give you random advice and disappear. I want you to understand exactly why these exercises work, when to do them, how long to do them, and what changes you should realistically expect over the next 2 weeks. Before we go to the exercises, let us understand one thing very clearly. How does circulation in the legs actually work? Blood goes from the heart to the legs through the arteries. That part is easy to imagine because the heart is pumping blood downward through the body. But the real challenge is not sending blood to the legs. The real challenge is bringing that blood back up from the feet and legs toward the heart, against gravity. And this is where your body depends heavily on 2 things, your veins and your calf muscles. Your veins contain valves. These valves help move blood upward in the right direction and reduce backward pooling. But veins do not work alone, they need help. And the biggest helper they have in the leg is your calf muscle. That is why the calf is often called the second heart of the leg. Every time your calf muscle contracts, whether while walking, lifting your heels, pumping your ankles, or changing position, it gently squeezes the veins and helps push blood upward. This is one of the reasons regular movement matters so much. When you move, your calf muscles pump. When you sit too long or stand too still, that pump becomes weak. And when that pump becomes weak, blood and fluid can start lingering in the lower part of the leg longer than they should. That is when people begin to notice the classic symptoms: heaviness, evening swelling, visible veins, discomfort, restlessness, aching, and sometimes cramping at night. Now, I also want to say something very important here. Not every leg symptom means poor circulation. Some symptoms can also happen because of joint problems, nerve irritation, salt intake, varicose veins, medication side effects, or other medical issues. And if you have sudden one-sided swelling, severe pain, chest pain, shortness of breath, a wound on the foot that does not heal, or your toes suddenly turn pale, blue, or very painful, that is not the time for home exercises alone. That is the time to seek urgent medical care. But for the very large number of people who are dealing with early heaviness, swelling from inactivity, vein strain, prolonged sitting, or poor calf muscle activation, these exercises can make a real difference. And the best part is this: you do not need 1 hour. You do not need a treadmill. You do not need a trainer standing over you. You need consistency, proper technique, and a routine that is easy enough to repeat every day. Now let us move to the solution. I am going to give you the only 3 exercises most people need to start improving leg circulation fast, and I am going to start from number 3 and build up to the most useful one. Exercise number 3 is the seated march. This exercise looks simple, but do not underestimate it. When done properly, it activates the hip flexors, the thighs, and most importantly, it helps break the complete stillness that slows circulation during long sitting periods. Take a strong, stable chair, sit upright, do not slouch backward, do not throw your shoulders behind the chair, and relax into a lazy posture. Sit tall, spine straight, feet on the floor, and keep your core gently engaged. Now slowly lift one knee upward, as if you are marching while seated. Bring it up with control. Hold it there for about 3 to 5 seconds if you comfortably can, then lower it gently. Do not drop the foot, do not stamp it down. Now repeat on the other side. Lift, hold, lower, lift, hold, lower. Continue alternating sides. I want this movement to be smooth, controlled, and intentional. This is not a fast shaking exercise. This is not random movement. You are trying to wake up muscles that have been too quiet for too long. Do this for about 30 repetitions on each side, or for about 60 seconds total, if that is easier for you to remember. Now, why is this exercise useful? Because long sitting is one of the biggest enemies of healthy venous return. The longer you remain still, the less active your muscle pump becomes. And when that happens repeatedly every day, blood return from the lower legs can become less efficient, especially in people who already have vein weakness, long desk jobs, less walking, or early varicose changes. The seated march interrupts that stillness. It reintroduces motion, it gets the hip and knee moving, it encourages blood return, and it is a perfect starting exercise for people who say, "Doctor, I know I should move more, but my whole day is spent sitting." If that is you, then remember this clearly: sitting for work may be unavoidable, but sitting without interruption is not. This is one of my favorite movements because it combines knee extension with ankle motion, and that ankle movement is where a lot of circulation benefits start showing up. Sit upright in your chair again. Extend one leg forward slowly until the knee is comfortably straight. Do not lock the joint aggressively, just lengthen the leg. Now pull the toes back toward you, hold for 2 to 3 seconds, then point the toes away from you, hold again, then relax. Back toward you, hold, point away, hold. Now bring the foot down. Then repeat the same on the other side. Straighten the leg, pull the toes toward you, hold, point away, hold, and relax. Do about 10 repetitions on each leg. Now, if after a few repetitions you start feeling warmth in the calf, a stretching sensation behind the leg, or mild muscle fatigue, that is usually because the muscles are working, the ankle pump is becoming active, and local circulation is being stimulated. What I do not want is jerky motion. Do not snap the knee. Do not force the ankle, do not rush just to finish the reps. Slow and clean is better than fast and careless. This exercise is especially useful for people who feel stiffness after sitting, for those who get swelling around the ankle, and for those who notice that after long desk hours, the lower leg starts feeling tight, numb, or dull. This movement improves more than circulation awareness. It also reminds the ankle joint and calf muscle to participate again. And that is very important because in everyday life, many people sit for long stretches with almost zero real ankle movement. Their feet stay planted, their calves stay silent, their veins get less support, and by evening, they wonder why the legs feel full, heavy or puffy. Now we come to exercise number 1. If you do only one exercise from this entire video, I want this to be the one you remember. Exercise number 1 is the seated calf pump. This is the most practical, most repeatable, and for many people the most immediately useful exercise of the 3. You can do it while working, while talking, while reading, while watching TV, while waiting, almost anywhere. Sit on your chair with both feet on the floor. Now lift your heels up, while keeping the front of the foot on the ground. Then lower the heels back down. Lift the heels, lower the heels, lift, lower. Now repeat that rhythm continuously. This is your calf pump. If you want to make it slightly stronger, lift the heels a little higher, and squeeze the calves at the top for 1 second before lowering. If lifting both heels together is difficult, do one side at a time. If balance is an issue while standing, remain seated. If you are older or weaker, start small and build gradually. Do this for 2 full minutes. Yes, just 2 minutes. And if your job keeps you sitting for long periods, then even 20 to 30 seconds of calf pumping at regular intervals can be extremely helpful as a circulation reset. Why is this so powerful? Because this movement directly activates the calf muscle pump, the same natural mechanism your legs rely on every time you walk. When the calf contracts, it helps compress the veins and encourages blood to move upward. This is one of the simplest ways to support venous return without standing up for a long period or needing a full exercise session. This is why walking is so often recommended for vein health and circulation. Walking uses the calf pump naturally. The seated calf pump is like the desk-friendly version of that principle. So if you are someone who says, "Doctor, I cannot go for a walk every hour," then fine, do not go for a walk every hour, but do not sit frozen either. Use the calf pump. 2 minutes, controlled movement, repeated during the day. Now let me give you the best way to combine these 3 exercises into a practical routine. Here is your simple circulation routine. Start with seated march for 1 minute, then do leg extension with ankle flex and point for 10 repetitions on each leg. Then finish with seated calf pump for 2 minutes. That whole routine will take you about 5 to 6 minutes. That is it, 5 to 6 minutes, and I want you to do it at least 2 times a day, ideally 3 times if your schedule allows. The best timing for most people is late morning, afternoon, and evening, especially if that is when your symptoms tend to build up. Now let me make one thing clear. This is not magic. You are not going to do these exercises once and suddenly have perfect circulation forever. But if your symptoms are driven by poor movement habits, prolonged sitting, early vein strain, or weak calf activation, then daily repetition can be surprisingly effective. The people who benefit the most are usually not the ones who do it intensely once. They are the ones who do it consistently every day. Now I promised you bonus content, and this is where many people start getting extra improvement. Let us talk first about fluid timing. A lot of people ask me, should I drink more water or less water if my legs swell? The answer is not as simple as drink less. In general, your body still needs proper hydration, but if you are someone who tends to feel puffy and heavy by evening, a smarter approach is to spread your fluid intake earlier in the day, instead of loading a large amount very late in the evening. Morning and afternoon are usually better times to stay well hydrated. Then in the evening, avoid mindlessly drinking large quantities all at once, especially if you are also becoming less active and more sedentary at that time. This is not about dehydration, this is about rhythm. Your muscles are more active earlier in the day, your movement is usually better, your body handles circulation differently when you are up and active compared with late evening when you are sitting, resting, or winding down. So do not neglect water, just be smarter about when and how you take it. Now let us talk about one food that may support circulation. That food is beetroot. Beetroot contains natural dietary nitrates, and in the body, these can contribute to nitric oxide pathways that help blood vessels relax and widen. What does that mean in simple language? Better vessel relaxation can help support blood flow. Now, is beetroot a miracle cure? No. Will eating beetroot erase varicose veins? No. Will it replace movement? Absolutely not. But as part of an overall circulation-friendly routine, beetroot can be a useful food to include. You can take it as salad, roasted, lightly cooked, or as part of a fresh juice if that suits you. You do not need to force it every single day if it does not fit your routine. Even 2 to 3 times a week is a reasonable place to start for many people. The key idea is not beetroot alone. The key idea is this: your circulation improves best when smart food and smart movement work together. Now let us talk about one bad habit that many people do without realizing how unhelpful it can be. Sitting cross-legged for long periods, a few minutes here and there, is usually not the end of the world. But if your default sitting posture is always cross-legged, and you stay that way for long stretches while working, scrolling, watching TV, or talking, then you are not doing your leg veins any favors. Why? Because that posture can increase pressure around the back of the knee and can reduce the free, relaxed support your veins need. It also encourages longer periods of stillness because once people settle into that position, they tend not to move much at all. So from today, become aware of it. Catch yourself when you do it. Uncross your legs, place both feet on the floor. And if you must sit for long, let both legs stay in a more neutral position and add small movements every so often. Now let me give you one good habit that can change everything if you actually follow it. The 20-20 rule. This is simple. If you have been sitting or standing still for 20 minutes, then for the next 20 seconds, do something that activates your legs. That is it. 20 minutes of stillness should not continue into 40, 60 or 90 minutes without interruption. After every 20 minutes, give your legs 20 seconds of movement. You can do calf pumps, you can do ankle movements, you can stand and take a few steps, you can march in place, you can walk to get water, you can walk to the washroom, you can simply break the freeze. That 20-second reset matters more than people think. Because the problem for many legs is not only weakness, it is long uninterrupted stillness, and once you understand that, you stop chasing complicated solutions and start respecting the value of small repeated movement. Set an alarm if you need to. Use your smartwatch, use your phone, use your computer reminder. I do not care what system you use, I care that you use one. Because if you rely only on memory, you will forget. And if you forget, your body will go back to the same old pattern: long sitting, weak pump, evening heaviness, swelling, discomfort. Now let us talk about one more simple step that people often feel relief from on the very first day. Leg elevation. If by evening your feet are swollen, your ankles feel tight, or your legs feel heavy, then when you get home, lie down and elevate your legs for about 10 minutes. Put them up on pillows, or rest them comfortably in a way that raises them above the level of your heart, if that is comfortable for you. Just relax and let gravity help. Why does this feel good? Because during the day, fluid and blood can tend to pool downward, especially when you have been sitting or standing for long periods. Elevation gives the return flow a little assistance. It is not a substitute for movement, but it can be a very useful recovery step, especially in the evening, especially after travel, especially after long desk work, especially after days when your socks leave deep marks and your ankles feel thick or tired. Now at this point, many people ask me, how quickly will I feel a difference? And the honest answer is this. Some people feel relief the same day from the calf pump and elevation because the heaviness reduces quickly when the muscles start helping the veins again. Some people need several days before they notice clear change. And some people need 2 full weeks of consistent routine before they really feel that the evening swelling, heaviness, or night discomfort is improving. That is why I do not want you to judge this routine after one attempt. I want you to test it properly. Do the 5-point score today. Then follow this routine for 2 weeks. Do the 3 exercises daily. Practice the 20-20 rule. Reduce long, careless stillness. Stop sitting cross-legged for long stretches. Stay active in short, frequent bursts. Use elevation in the evening if needed, and then retake the same score after 2 weeks. That is how you create measurable change. Not by guessing, not by doing random things, but by repeating a plan and checking whether your body responds. Now I also want to say this very clearly because it matters. If your symptoms are getting worse, if you have severe pain while walking, if one leg suddenly swells much more than the other, if you have skin color changes, sores that do not heal, marked warmth and redness, or pain that wakes you up and is steadily worsening, please do not rely only on internet advice. Those cases need proper medical evaluation. Home exercise is for support. It is not a replacement for diagnosis when red flags are present. But if your issue is early poor movement, evening heaviness, sitting-related slowing, minor swelling, or a weak daily circulation habit, then these 3 exercises are one of the simplest starting systems you can use. And that is exactly why I like them. They are simple enough to begin, safe enough for most people to try sensibly, practical enough to repeat, and powerful enough to create real improvement when done consistently. Now let us quickly review your complete plan one more time. Start with the 5-point score. Then every day do seated march for 1 minute. Then leg extension with ankle flex and point for 10 repetitions on each leg. Then seated calf pump for 2 minutes. Repeat this routine 2 to 3 times a day. Follow the 20-20 rule. Avoid long cross-legged sitting. Spread your hydration sensibly across the day. Include beetroot a few times a week if it suits you. And in the evening, if your legs feel swollen or heavy, elevate them for 10 minutes. Then give this full plan 2 honest weeks. And now I want you to do something very important. In the comments, write your score out of 5. Not what you wish it was, not what you think it should be. Write the real score. Then after 2 weeks, come back and write the new score again. That way, you are not just watching a video, you are actually testing your circulation habits and tracking whether they improve. And if this helped you understand your legs better, then share it with someone who sits long hours, someone whose feet swell by evening, someone who gets night cramps, or someone who keeps saying, "My legs just don't feel right." Because many people ignore these early signs for months or even years, and the sooner they understand what their legs are trying to tell them, the better chance they have to improve things before the problem gets worse. I am Dr. David, and if you want more simple, practical, medically guided advice on leg health, circulation, vein care, swelling, cramps, and daily prevention, then stay connected, because the right information at the right time can save you from a lot of discomfort later. Take care of your legs, because they carry you through your whole life.